Anyway, so
I
I've
love
pressed the
the town.
record button, and I gotta say, I do appreciate all the compliments you gave me before the video started. So I do appreciate it. It warms my old decrepit heart. So, Toga won, but evil. But it's basically life, but it's evil. But it's kind of just doing the life thing, but it's evil.
Yeah. So
Hit me with
it's
a pitch.
uh, Pippa made me relapse.
Okay.
That's the pitch. She told me to build evil Toga because it kind of is sick nasty with the sauce, and it is in fact sick nasty with the sauce. This is literally just like prime gamer Toga on life, but reskin. Like, man, I really miss specialist to sound. Guess what we have now? We've got rifle arm. Man, I really loved all my attacks saying like draw a card and stuff like that. Yeah, all these attacks like kind of draw cards or just generate value to keep stringing out. It's just got all the stuff like incompatible quirks. That's just someone with style. It's literally just all the cool stuff that Live Toga used to do, except now it's on evil, and we get combined firepower, which is really cool for the whole let's get 5 cards in our card pool thing.
Yeah, I think combined firepower is actually like the thing that really opened my eyes and went, okay, this could really work. This could really,
Yeah.
really work.
It's
I
pretty
think
sick.
there's only one card that I think that you are quote unquote missing out of your attack lineup, and I don't know where it goes, and it's just tray size. Have you thought about tray size anywhere in here?
I just don't own any copies, so when I was building I say that like I own 2 Gigantification Swings, but then I realized Gigantification Swing was also kind of sick in this deck.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did not consider tray size, but I could definitely see it fitting, just because you can,
Tray size is so like, what's better than drawing a random card off of Vial, Sword, and 45? Drawing a attack card that you can give plus 3 extra damage to, right? Yeah, it starts a little low, but it just like represents 12 damage if you've got one floating full on attack mode, paying the cost, like these are just like free, right? They're just free points. It was like bing, 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 bing. I'm gonna get the job done. The cards that I'm not in love with in your deck is just House of Cards.
I just think it's really cool right now in our current meta. I've been trying to try it out more where I can actually play it, because momentum decks are a big poopy thing right now. I say that like I'm not a Toga 3 player who's abusing Black Abyss and all the other cool momentum stuff. But it's really cool that you get to pick the card and just straight up rip it out of momentum and everything, and stack a bad check.
Sure. Is there an argument where this is supposed to just be in the sideboard then? Because there are some decks that just like don't care about momentum. Your deck doesn't necessarily care about momentum, right?
It does.
You've got one momentum trick with Gigantification Swing. If you face the mirror match, does it matter? And there's plenty of other decks that feel that same way.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely was just something I wanted to try out and everything, but it's not. I'm not really fully. The only cards I'm like really attached to are cards like Alleyway and stuff that we're obviously not going to touch. So it's like I'm pretty loose on most of the stuff. I don't play a lot of evil symbols, so I was just kind of experimenting with the deck building.
Yeah, my thought was if we just cut House of Cards, we could put in one more paying the cost for guaranteed stats, and then one more full on attack mode for guaranteed. Like the goal of this deck is just to kill them dead, right? Like that's just the goal.
For gaming.
And then there's only 3 Excited for Blood, not 4, because you cut one for Without a Vision. What are your thoughts there?
Just in case we don't get, like, we're not always going to get to do the Unga Bunga stuff, and if for some reason someone's just like Rodan or someone is just building out, Random Deadlock is pretty cool. And it was just, like I said, it's another thing I wanted to try out because it's a newer tool that like old Toga never really would have had. That said, Excited for Blood obviously is just kind of a card that's insta include in Toga 1.
Sure.
So I just wanted to try it at the 3-1, see if there was any idea for it, or if it should just be the 4 Exciteds.
Okay. My next thing is Combined Firepower only works whenever you remove something to pay for a cost, and currently it is Incubating and Falling Crush, and that's it? Question mark?
Yeah. Floating around my babies.
Floating. Okay, I'm now locked in on Combined Firepower. I was like, this does not make sense. I want to talk about Falling Crush. I think this card is super, super cool. I think this card is really neat.
It could definitely be more of.
Can I make it something else instead?
What's the thought process?
3 diff. We want it to be Rivet Stab. Too low for whatever. You can get it to 5 damage very easy, and then it redraws the card. And if you need to, all you have to do is commit the incompatible quirks, and then it can re-ready itself back up anyways for the +2. You got to find one more damage somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Also, incompatible is another combined firepower thing for what that's worth.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, and so like Rivet Stab, I think like does this like it doesn't give more damage, but it does give more draw, which is the thing that your character wants to do to play out a trillion attacks, and it's still on that same 3. But with that said, I mean it's the 3 diff. You don't want to play it early, so maybe the idea of like having this be a 5 damage move late, like it's a 5 low for 5, late in the chain, like might just be better. Is there an idea where instead of Deterioration Palm, you just play extra Falling Crush?
It's the other Deterioration is another low block, isn't it? That's
No.
a mid. It's fine. I was just kind of like the attack lineup's kind of most of the ratios got wiggled around just to try and fit an even amount of exchange on blocks to even things out. But
Yeah.
like I said, nothing's really fully attached. So I'm down to hear things out before diving into deeper ideas for the deck.
I just think Deterioration Palm is like not that good of a card.
It's not great. It's not.
It's like really cool if you need a 1 mid block, but you don't because you've got combined. Combined firepower defensively is just going to be Rockstar, right? Yeah, I would much rather see
More of
if you're gonna do this, you ready? I would rather like let's do an extra 45, right? To like draw the card because I don't think you're gonna have an issue like passing checks as long as you're playing correctly.
For sure.
If you're just trying to kill them on exactly 2, I mean, yeah, we want Deterioration because it's a bonus foundation. But I think if you're like trying to kill them on like 2.9, right? Sometimes it happens on 2, but more than likely it's going to happen on 3. I think that the like one more Falling Crush, one more 45 to help you with bigger builds is going to be better than what Deterioration Plan does, or Deterioration Palm, excuse me.
Okay.
I think I pushed it up to 42 cards, question mark. I don't know how I did that, but I've done it.
What the hell, Tam? What did we do?
I guess I can just go look at your deck again.
You should be able to hit history and see what was changed, too. At the bottom of
That's fair. I'll do this, and then do this, and then history. Remove palm. Show the other 3. +1, +1. I removed House of Cards, which was 2. Was your deck always 62 cards?
Wait,
it was always 62.
I'm a dummy.
What a goober. What a goober. I thought it was 61. Must have been the last one. All in all, though, I mean, we know what Evil Toga does, right? Like, we just, like, know. We've seen this deck for a while. And so, like, you just looking and being like, this replaces this replaces this, just makes sense. I think the one thing that you could argue here is that, like, maybe you're supposed to cut the 2 combined firepowers. Cut 2 of them, leave 2 of them. Because they're not always turned on.
Yeah, just have a straight 60 card deck for optimal. Yeah.
And, like, 60 card, 21, you draw cards with Toga. You're going to be playing a bunch, like... And, like, having the 2 combined firepowers inside of your Toga, your Alloy Ambush deck is probably enough, right? Like, this card counts as 2
we're
itself.
only ever probably going... Yeah, we're only going to ever really want to use 1, probably.
Blocking with all 4 seems impossible anyways. This is... I mean, they're going to get... They're it's less likely that they get removed now with floating and, like, you feel bad about it. Like, if... I think that, like, this is such a minuscule change... But I think it might be just be like the only one that you could really make without like doing some real experimentation of like, am I supposed to play without a vision? Am I supposed to play the 4th excited? Am I supposed to play? I put in an extra, the 4th paying the cost. Should it be floating instead? Things along those lines, right? Of like these little micro adjustments. But like just looking at the deck, there's nothing that I could really see. I do think, and this is where stuff's gonna get crazy. I think your number 1 deadlock, pressure, or like the late game pressure as you call it, it's just 4 copies of these in the sideboard.
Just true. 100%.
Yep. I think this is one of the most slept on cards in the entire game. The amount of scaling that this card does is +X for literally your entire life total. It's your full stage and you get to give it bonus stats.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah. And like you get to use like incompatible quirks to make things easier, and you don't necessarily care if your stage is committed or whatever. Right? You've got quick to act, and you've got unmatched quickness to make it even crazier.
It's literally just stat sticks.
it's just stat sticks, and like you can cut yourself down if they leave you at 11. You cut yourself down to 10, and just say, "Hey, I'm gonna block with this." Right? Like there's moves, there's ideas that you get to do with True 100% Unleashed. That like there's an idea even of like if you want to get really silly with it, let's put this at the 1 of, and let's put this Falling Crush back to a 2 of, and just say we'll just let it rock. There's our 21 attacks.
Just so we have a random ass bullet in there to shoot someone with.
What a sick opener, right? I'm gonna just True 100%. I'm gonna check my 5. I'm gonna commit my incompatible quirks. I'm gonna say this is for your life total. You have to deal with it. And now the other 4 attacks that I play just wear all of this super well and just kills you for it. Right? You have to use your reset on this thing. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kill you.
Okay. Definitely something to try.
Yeah, I mean, I am such a fan of what this card has got going on. So the other idea, you ready? And this is where we get crazy with it, right? Is we put this in the sideboard at all 4 copies, right?
Yeah.
And we just put Younger Toguro in the sideboard, and then we just take out the 4 alleyways and we put in the 4 True 100%, and then this is a Younger Toguro deck. Wow. It's not great, right? But it's like
definitely a curveball that I don't think an opponent would see coming in like a game 2 or something.
If somebody is playing like an Ochako for, I'm playing 4 Falling Skies for whatever, and you just look at them and go, I don't have 20 health anymore. I've got 32, and I'm gonna play all my moves.
And also, like, if you game someone game 1 and they start siding board in all their like super hard like aggro hate and stuff, and the next thing you're like, yeah, I'm cool with playing a slightly longer game. I am thick as hell and punching people.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
The misplay story.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be yes. But yeah.
You brought me a 99.9% polished deck again.
That's crazy. I've never tested this.
Yeah, I mean,
I say that. It's
You've tested Evil Toga, right? Like.
No, I've only ever tested Live Toga.
You've never looked at what Evil Toga has available?
I looked at her for probably 4 days.
What a fake fan.
Bro, no. Okay, you don't get to say that.
What a fake fan.
I relapse and bring a Toga deck after bringing
cow.
like 17 Toga decks to your deck docs, your silly little deck docs, whereas to talk about my favorite character.
I can't believe you don't even like Toga. That's crazy. That you're over here. This is the first time you're showing me Evil Toga 1? How many years have you had Evil Toga 1? Interesting.
Life was always the move. Life's my symbol too. I love life just as much as I love Toga.
Interesting.
You know what, Cameron Cardwell? Listen here, you boomer. Okay.
Anywho, final thoughts, buddy?
I mean, like, yeah, I like it. I mean, I think 200% is really. You give me some cool ideas. Like I said, the Younger Toguro sideboard thing may be far fetched, but it's definitely something I'll at least like look into and try out. But
yeah, I don't think it's the right move, but it's certainly a fun move, right? Of just like transforming, and they can wear each other well enough.
Phrasing, but yeah, AO. Yeah, no, I like the idea of like I said, it's just a really cool thing. I'm glad Pippa like brought the idea up to my attention for me to actually like start looking. Because as I was like, it was so fun just as I'm building the deck, I'm looking at like these are literally just Life Toga cards from set like 2 and 3, but they're just different slightly.
Sure.
And then we have a ton more like just free stat incubating. We didn't have a thing of paying the cost. We didn't have things like that just like used to like be just bench press and floating for that. And if you were playing Evil instead of Life back then, I guess you had quick to act and stuff like that. But there wasn't a ton of like outside of those for free stats. And then like we already talked about, Combined Firepower is actually kind of just cool as a card to make sure you get to your 5 for your alleyways.
Yeah, it says you don't have to play weird ass foundations, right? Like,
exactly.
I have to play 2 more foundations in order to make my alleyways hit. No, 100%. I got combined. Right. Always
the most awkward part of a game where Toga string is whenever you're like 1 attack short and just have to play like a 0 to 2 diff on as your 4th card, 5th card, just to try and get to the alleyway conditions.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really happy. I'm excited to try the list out and everything.
Hell yeah. All right, buddy. Well, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a great night, okay?
Yeah. You too.
See you, man.